Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa and I am back to continue reading in chapter 20 of the book Letters and Numbers written by Zachry K. Hubbard. You can get a copy of this book by visiting Zachry K. Hubbard's YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News, as well as Gematria Effect Sports, and in the description of each of the videos that he produces, he leaves a link for you to purchase the book Letters and Numbers for $5, the best $5 you'll ever spend. This book comes to you as a PDF file format via email, so be sure that after you purchase the book and you receive your email, that you save the book to your hard drive of your phone, your computer, laptop, or what have you, so that you can have access to the book later at all times. He left the copyright off this book so that you could take it to your local bindery and have it bound into a book, and for your own personal library. You could print the book out if you like, and put it in a notebook for your own book. Just make sure you keep the book. Find out the information. The information in this book is very profound, very eye-opening, very true. This is stuff you can prove. This isn't stuff that you have to believe in. This is what is going on. The book Letters and Numbers is about Gematria, and Gematria is a code. It is the encoding of numbers within our letters, and every word we speak has a numerical value. So the more you learn about Gematria, the more you're going to see it in every single thing around you that comes through your media. And it's baffling. It's mind-blowing, but it needs to stop, and it can be stopped if enough people wake up and stand up against what's taking place in the whole world. It's not just America, it's everywhere. Zachry K. Hubbard also wrote a second book. That book is called Number Games, and it is the continuation of Letters and Numbers. Number Games from 9/11 to coronavirus, but it is also about Gematria and how everything, all of our history, our governments all over the world is orchestrated with this code. Your sports, your movies, books, your everything you've learned in school, it's orchestrated by this code. And because we didn't know that our alphabet were in fact letters, therefore they didn't teach you the code. They didn't teach you the most important thing about the alphabet is that they are numbers. And when crafted in a certain way, they can do things that they speak to each other. The elites speak to each other through this code. Now, because Zachry K. Hubbard has broke the code, he has made it available to everyone. He could have kept this information quiet, like the powers that shouldn't be have. But thank God he has shared the information. But it is just it is just mind-boggling to me that people don't want to know the truth, or they don't think this stuff that it even exists. It's crazy. There is a code. There's a word called code. I used to write code when I was in college for computer code. But now everything makes so much sense, and in the process of writing code for a computer, the main objective was to create real world relationships. And this code is just baffling. But anyway, the book Letters and Numbers, like I said, if I didn't say it, it is available now on Amazon as a pre-order, and it is also on the bestseller list as well. It should be, because this information is, everyone should know it. Every human being on this planet should know this code. And yes, so you can pre-order it, and there's a picture of Zachry K. Hubbard. That's the gentleman that wrote the book. But anyway, the book will be released October 13th, that infamous dishonest number. But Zach, I just hope your book reaches everybody. But anyway, you order the book on Amazon. It's a pre-order. It'll be released on October 13th. Now, if you don't want to order it on Amazon, you can go to Zachry K. Hubbard's blog page, gematriaeffectnews.blogspot.com, and place an order there. The first thing you'll see when you arrive at that blog page is the advertising for letters and for number games. And as you scroll down, you will see the information on how to purchase the book within the United States and abroad. But be sure to get the book. And as soon as I'm done reading letters and numbers, I will begin a series of reading number games as well. If you become a Patreon of Zachary K. Hubbard, you can get both books by pledging $1 a month. And you pledge the $1 a month, and he will send you both the books in PDF file format. And he's making this information as easy as possible to get to everyone. So please do yourself a favor. Get the information. Learn the information. Teach it to your children. The next generation that's coming up, they need to know this information. Everyone needs to know this information. Okay, with that said, and also be sure to read the blogs on his blog page at gematriaeffectnews.blogspot.com, and that will give you another, more information on how Gematria works. I should have been reading like maybe a blog. I might do that in my next reading. Read a blog from, read something that he's written from his older blog posts, because he has another channel called Gematria Effect. No, it's called Free to Find Truth.blogspot.com, and he had been blogging there for over 5 years, so there's a massive amount of information there. So when I start the next book, or maybe in the next reading, I will read something that he's written down on his blogs, to give you an idea of what this code is and how important it is that we know it, and how important it is that the people of the world get together and stop Gematria. It can be stopped. And with that said, I am on page 591, and I am beginning with the next death, Christopher Reeve, Superman. And here we go. Christopher Reeve, born September 25th, 1952, and died October 10th, 2004. Before we get to the death of Christopher Reeve, the man who played the invincible Superman, let us begin with the day he became a quadriplegic, which was May 27th, 1995, the 147th day of the year. He was 42 years old at the time of the injury that left him paralyzed. Consider the word Freemason has gematria of 42 and 147. Even more, the word equestrianism, 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 meaning horse riding, has gematria of 181, the 42nd prime. Excuse me. If you don't know, his injury was blamed on a fall from a horse. The day he was hurt couldn't have been any more perfect either. It was 121 days before his 43rd birthday, or a span of 122 days. In reverse reduction gematria, his full name, Christopher D'Olier, D-O-L-I-E-R, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but anyway, Christopher D'Olier Reeve, equates to 121, and in ordinal gematria, quadriplegic equates to 122. Even more, his full name also has reverse ordinal gematria of 337, which is the 68th prime, and the word quadriplegic has reduction gematria of 68. As for the name Christopher Reeve, alone it sums to 95, like the year of the fateful injury. In other words, it wasn't a horse that hurt him, it was the synagogue. For a couple more, his full name in ordinal gematria sums to 257, matching blood sacrifice in reverse ordinal. The name Christopher also has reduction gematria of 67, just the same as blood sacrifice. Thus his name was his undoing. Wow. He would die 15 days after his 52nd birthday, being born in 52. As you know, when 15 is written out, it sums to 38, much like death, murder, and killing. Wow, and killing. Consider the Superman comic released in the year 38. Wow, that is just so crazy. But I'm going to reread that so I can put it in context. But it says, he would die 15 days after his 52nd birthday, being born in 52. As you know, when 15 is written out, it sums to 38, much like death, murder, and killing. Consider the Superman comic released in the year 38. Worse yet, his wife would die March 8, 2006, at age 44, and in Gematria terms, Superman equates to 44, also corresponding with the date numerology of his passing, October 10th, 2004. Wow. When Christopher passed, it came 26 years after he began playing the part of Superman in 1978. As we know, the word kill, I lost my spot. Okay. And as we know, the word kill equates to 26, as does hero, as in superhero. The term superhero also has Chaldean and septenary gematria of 43, which is likely why his planned paralysis was coordinated with his 43rd birthday as part of one sick satanic joke. You do get it right, making Superman a quadriplegic. I get it, Zach. I do. So the date, 10/10/2004. 10 plus 10 plus 20 plus 04 equates to 44. Superman equates to 44, and the reduction cipher S counted as 10. Russell Jones, Old Dirty Bastard. Born November 15, 1968. Died November 13, 2004. 2 days before his 36th birthday, the man known as Old Dirty Bastard would drop dead at age 35. This is interesting because he is known for being a member of the Wu-Tang Clan, summing to 35 in reduction. Similar to how rap sums to 35 in ordinal, and how OD sums to 35 in reverse ordinal. A month after his death, it was blamed on a drug overdose, or OD. Not by chance, his full birth name, Russell Tyrone Jones, as well as his abbreviated hip-hop name, Old Dirty, both sum to 103, the same as overdose. As for his date of passing, November 13, it is the 317th day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of Saturn, using the primes cipher. This matters because Old Dirty, let's go here, come on. Okay, Old Dirty Bastard sums to 93 using reverse reduction, and the Wu-Tang Clan released their debut album on November 9th, 1993. Emphasis on 93, the number of Saturn in ordinal. Okay, Dimebag Darrell, August 20th, 1966, and he died December 8th, 2004. The well-remembered guitarist for Pantera and a number of other bands would be killed at age 38 on the anniversary of the assassination of John Lennon while performing on stage with his band Damage Plan, a name equating to 38 as well. Dimebag Darrell was killed on his 111th day of being 38 years young, and that fit his artist name perfectly, summing to 111. At the same time, let us not forget that December 8th, or 12/8, breaks down to 3/8 in numerology terms. Okay, so December 12th can be expressed as 12/8. And when you add it together in numerology, 1 plus 2 is 3, and then you have the 8, so 38 for murder. Okay, so at the same time, let us not forget that December 8th or 12/8 breaks down to 3/8 in numerology terms. Adding insult to injury was the gematria of the assassin's name, Nathan Gale, equating to 38 and 83, corresponding with the gematria of murder. Even more, the assassin's name summed to 187, matching the satanic gematria of Ohio. In the details of the event, it was reported the killer shot 15 bullets, killing 4 people and injuring 7 more, corresponding with the word killing, and the ordinal gematria of Ohio, which is 47, as well as the reverse reduction of Columbus, where the show was located. At the same time, let us not forget that the number 47 is the 15th prime. Also noteworthy about the city, Columbus has gematria of 25 like death, and the assassin was said to be 25 years old. For the final piece, it was a date with numerology of 44, corresponding with kill. All right, Reggie White, December 19th, 1961, died December 26th, 2004. Reggie White would die at age 43, 7 days after his birthday, on the 26th. His death came a span of 43 days from the upcoming Super Bowl, February 6th, 2005. Consider his birth name was Reginald, having reduction gematria of 43, a number connecting to the gematria of killing and RIP, as well as goat, as in a sacrificial animal. The upcoming Super Bowl he died before was number 39, which featured the Philadelphia Eagles, who White played with for 8 NFL seasons, 1985 to 1992, playing his last game of the 92-93 season on January 10th, 1993, in the divisional round of the playoffs. Possibly coincidental or not, his last game was against the Dallas Cowboys, a team name summing to 43 in reduction. To make sense of why 43, we have to go back to what Reggie White was remembered for: being an outspoken Christian while a member of the Philadelphia Eagles, and for the remainder of his NFL career and life. As you have learned, the name Philadelphia is mentioned in Revelation, the concluding book of the Christian portion of the Bible, which is based in the 39 books of the Old Testament, and is about the return of Jesus Christ, a name summing to 43 in reduction. Adding to the riddle, White's last game was played January 10th or 10/1, not unlike 101, the number connecting to the gematria of church and Philadelphia, and also being the 26th prime number, reminding of how he died on the 26th, a number connecting to the words God and kill, and having parallels to Super Bowl 39, which was played on February 6th or 2/6 after his passing. Wow. For yet another 26, connecting the pieces of the puzzle, Reggie White won Super Bowl 31 on January 26, 1997, as a member of the Green Bay Packers, beating the New England Patriots, who the Eagles would face in Super Bowl 39. If you want to think a step further, consider the emblem on his opponent's helmet for his very last game against the Dallas Cowboys, a star. In case you have forgotten, once upon a time there was a debate about who Jesus Christ was. Was he the Son of God sent to earth, or was he the Sun, Son of God, a star? As you know, these riddles, murder, and more are entwined in the Bible and history. To go a bit further with the Christian connections, the name White has ordinal gematria of 65, whereas Christianity has reduction gematria of 65, same as Philadelphia. At the same time, Reggie White was born in 61, corresponding with the gematria of Philadelphia, Christianity, Christmas, Jesus, Cross, and more. His birth name, Reginald White, also shares an ordinal value of 135, the same as the key of David, and fly, eagles, fly. Let us not forget that Philadelphia was established on a date with numerology of 135, October 27th, 1682. And when you add that date, 10 plus 7 plus 16 plus 82, you get 135. That also happens to be the day leaving 65 days left in the year. Worth mentioning is Reggie died 42 days before Super Bowl 39. A fair statement, instead of recognizing the full span of 43 days. Consider the name Reggie has reduction gematria of 42, and his date of passing came on one with numerology of 42. 12 plus 26 plus 04 equates to 42, a number we have learned a thing or two about. Wow. In this case, given the fact the riddle is largely biblical, let us not overlook the gematria of New Testament summing to 42, and which begins with the 42 generations to Jesus. Let us also consider how the number 42 pertained to the death of his teammate Jerome Brown, who was murdered for Super Bowl 27 as a sacrifice. Speaking of which, the date Reggie White died had numerology of 62 as well, the number connecting to the reverse reduction gematria of sacrifice. So the date 12/26/2004, you would add 2 plus 26 plus 20 plus 04, that equates to 62, and sacrifice equates to 62 in reverse reduction. For one last point, Reggie White's official cause of death was cardiovascular disease, having reverse reduction gematria of 142. Similar to how 42, when written as words, has an ordinal value of 142, and how Willie Brown died 142 days after his 42 birthday, February 4th, on a date with numerology of 142. At the same time, cardiovascular disease has reduction gematria of 83, corresponding with the gematria of the words football and murder. Go figure. Alrighty, Luther Vandross. I love his music. Luther Vandross, April 20th, 1951, died July 1st, 2005. Luther Vandross would drop dead 72 days after his 54th birthday from a heart attack, a cause of death having a reverse reduction gematria of 72. You could also say he died on his 73rd day of his age, the number corresponding with the ordinal gematria of sacrifice and the reduction gematria of ritual sacrifice. Further, July 1st is the 182nd day of the year, and the name Luther Vandross has a reverse ordinal value of 182. The last point about his premature death is the date July 1st or 17, where kill has a reduction value of 17. July 1st, 2005 was also a date with numerology of 33. So you would add 7 plus 1 plus 20 plus 05, that equates to 33. Corresponding with the reverse reduction value of Luther and the reduction gematria of arsenic. a lethal substance that has claimed many lives prematurely over the years. In fact, it is the favorite method of killing by the Jesuit order, having reduction gematria of 54 and reverse reduction gematria of 72. And in light of Luther passing on the 73rd day of being 54, let us not forget that the number 73 is the 21st prime. And Jesuit alone sums to 21 in reduction. Again, the Jesuits are at the top of the Masonic period, known as the New World Order or Illuminati. Excuse me. Something's caught in my throat. Okay. I don't know who this person is, at least not by this name anyway. But as we read, I'm sure I'll find out. So, Lloyd Avery II, born June 21st, 1969, and died September 4th, 2005. Okay, gotcha. From Boys in the Hood. This man was the most hated character from the film Boys in the Hood, which we'll touch more on in a moment. And years ago when I was in junior college, we had to go and watch this film. And man, I wish I had known Gematria then. Anyway, moving on. He died on a date with numerology of 20 and 38, where both numbers connect to death. And on his 76th day of being 36 years old, and of course Negro equates to 76 reverse ordinal. In the language of Gematria, blood sacrifice sums to 67 as well as 76, and his name Lloyd Avery II also summed to 67. As you have learned, the number 67 connects to satanic too, and it was reported that he was murdered and used in a satanic ritual while incarcerated at Pelican Bay State Prison, having gematria of 323 like Lucifer. The story was that his cellmate, Kevin Robbie, R-O-B-Y, having gematria of 122, corresponding with satanic, murdered him September 4th. Kevin Robbie equates to 49, and this date, September 4th, can be expressed as 4/9. So Kevin Robbie, let me start over. So it states that the story was that his cellmate, Kevin Robbie, having gematria of 122, corresponding with satanic, murdered him September 4th. And Kevin Robbie equates to 49 in reduction. And then hid his body before bringing it out of hiding on September 6th and placing it in the middle of a satanic pentagram, which was drawn from the blood of Avery's body. What's interesting about this taking place on September 6th is Satanism and Freemason equate to 96. Consider 666 is the 36th triangular number, and Avery was 36 years old at the time of his murder. As for him being hated in the well-remembered film, it was because his character murdered the football star player. His character murdered the star football player in the neighborhood named Ricky Baker. Interestingly, Boys in the Hood and Lloyd Avery II have gematria overlap of 67 and 167, and Ricky Baker and Lloyd Avery II has gematria overlap with 68 and 167. For another possible riddle, he went to prison for committing a double homicide after acting in the film Shot, where both words have gematria of 46. Let us not forget about Charles Manson, who died after 46 years of being in the joint. That's crazy. I didn't even know that this guy had went to prison. Or, it's just crazy. And he was very handsome. I remember him hanging out the car with that shotgun. That is just crazy. But who knows? But from him playing in that movie and his name, Gematria, his fate was already sealed. It's crazy. Corey Little, Corylidle. And I don't know who this is yet. So Corey Little, born March 22nd, 1972, died October 11th, 2006. 34-year-old Corey Little was the New York Yankees pitcher who reportedly died by accidentally flying his plane into the 42-story Bel Air apartments in Manhattan, New York. I remember that story. Wow. Before we get to the September 11, 2001 parallel, consider he died 29 weeks after his birthday, and Manhattan has Gematria of 29. He also died 162 days before his 35th birthday, and baseball, as well as Major League Baseball, equate to 162. At the same time, Yankees have Gematria of 35 and 26, the latter number not unlike the year of his death, 206, because you would ignore the zeros, and that's 26. Wow. The location of the apartments was on East 72nd Street, corresponding with his year of birth, and the word baseball, which also shares Gematria of 72. As for the parallel to September 11th, recall that New York has Gematria of 111, and September 11th is the day that leaves 111 days left in the year. Compare that with October 10th or 10/11 something, not unlike 111. Even more, the New York Yankees played in the World Series after September 11, 2001. From the 5-year anniversary of September 11th to the death of Corey Little was 4 weeks and 2 days. Recall that when you write out 5 and 9, they both sum to 42. At the time of his death, Little was in his 9th season of being a part of Major League Baseball, reminding of the 9 innings in a ball game. Wow. James Brown. Get on the good foot. James Brown was born May 3rd, 1933, and he died December 25th, 2006. James Brown died on Christmas, a name having Gematria of 38 like death. Christmas equates to 38 like death. He was known as the Godfather of Soul, where the name Godfather equates to 42. Fittingly, he died on his 237th day of being 73 years old. So, and of course, 2 times 3 times 7 equates to 42. Okay? And Godfather of Soul sums to 73 in reduction. And so he died on his 237th day of being 73 years old, and Godfather of Soul sums to 73 in reduction. As a reminder, sacrifice has ordinal Gematria of 73, and ritual sacrifice has reduction Gematria of 73. And no doubt James Brown was a sacrifice, dying on the date that is remembered as the birthday of another famous black man who was sacrificed. For more on the sacrifice angle, his full name, James Joseph Brown, using the reduction methods, has Gematria of 67 and 86, just the same as blood sacrifice. As for his date of passing, it had numerology of 63, corresponding with the name Brown in reverse ordinal. The date of his passing had numerology of 43, corresponding with killing and RIP. The man he was sacrificed for was 33 years old at the time. That was Nasir Jones, a name having gematria of 43. If you're not aware, Nasir Jones is the rapper known as Nas and who had sampled James Brown's music on his album God's Son, summing to 33, like his age at the time of James Brown's death, a man who was born in 33 and who died on the 33rd parallel, 33 weeks and 6 days after his birthday. From Nas's 33rd birthday, September 14th, to Brown's date of death was 102 days later. Nigger equals 102, reverse ordinal. Slavery equals 102 in ordinal, or a span of 103 days. Tying it together, his full rap name, Nasty Nas, has reverse ordinal gematria of 103, the 27th prime. As we know, the number 27 represents ritual. It also represents Brown. Further, notice the God's Son release date. Okay, so the album God's Son, the release date was 12/13/2002. So when you add 12 plus 13 plus 20 plus 02, it equates to 47. 12/13/02, you add 12 plus 13 plus 02, that equates to 27. Wow. It's a dirty, dirty business. Dang, Nas. Okay, Darrent Williams. Darrent. Darrent Williams. September 27, 1982, and dies January 1st, 2007. My goodness, he's very young. And I don't know who it is yet. So, let us see. In the early hours of New Year's, Darrent Williams, an NFL star for the Denver Broncos, would be shot and killed. For whatever reason, that's not ringing a bell, but man, it's terrible. Consider, New Year's has reduction gematria of 38, like Colorado, the 38th state. For yet another number connecting to the word death, Williams would die on the 97th day of being 24 years old. It's important to note that the name Darrent and the word shooting share gematria of 109, which is the 29th prime number. In the case of 29, the word football has reduction gematria of 29, and he died on a date with numerology of 29. So you would add 1 plus 1 plus 20 plus 7, that equates to, 07, but still 0. 1 plus 1 plus 20 plus 07, that equates to 29. At the same time, the name Williams equates to 118, another number corresponding with the gematria of death. Please don't overlook that his birthday is that of the Jesuit orders. He also wore the number 27 for the Denver Broncos, and he died on the first day of 2007. It's just like 27 because you ignore the zeros. A number having the same key digits. Another curious detail in the story is that he died in the lap of his teammate Javon Walker, who had turned 28 years old October 14, 2006, 79 days earlier. As a reminder, murder sums to 79 in ordinal gematria. What in the hell is going on? What is going on? Or is they just... No, this is some BS. It's just horribly terrible. Tony Thompson, I believe this is from the group, is it High Five? I Like the Way. I believe so. Tony Thompson. September 2nd, 1975 is when he was born, and died June 1st, 2007. And I believe that is him. Tony Thompson of the R&B group High Five, a name summing to 31 in reverse reduction, would drop dead at age 31, June 1st, 2007. The day leaving 213 days left in the year. Oh my gosh. As we have learned, the number 213 connects to death and black history as well. In this case, Mr. Thompson was a young black man. His cause of death was blamed on an overdose that came 93 days before his 32nd birthday, part of an ongoing familiar pattern. It is also worth mentioning that the name Tony Thompson, as well as the group name High Five, share Gematria of 59. The number connecting to the words Negro and kill, and often showing up in fateful ways in the history of murder by numbers. Last, he died on a date with numerology of 14, connecting to the words dead and end, and a date with numerology of 34 as well, connecting to murder. Wow. Okay. Eddie Griffin, May 30th, 1982 is when he was born. Died August 17th, 2007. Oh my goodness. Okay. According to reports, the former NBA star was killed at the fateful age of 25 when he drove in front of a moving train, supposedly from being under the influence of alcohol. His death came 79 days after his birthday, the number connecting to murder and also being the 22nd prime number where basketball has a reduction value of 22. He died in Texas, a span of 65 days from the conclusion of the NBA Finals, June 14, 2007, which were won by the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, this is fascinating because it was the 61st NBA season that had concluded with the finals, and Philadelphia has Gematria of 65 and 61 in the reduction ciphers, the city Griffin called home, and the same city that won the first professional basketball championship in 1947. That was in the time of the Philadelphia Warriors. So Philadelphia equates to 65 in reduction. Philadelphia equates to 61 reverse reduction. Finals equates to 61 in ordinal. Related to his death, earlier in Griffin's life, he had suffered public humiliation when it was reported that he was involved in a car accident while driving his vehicle and masturbating at the same time. That came on a date of March 30th, 2006, having numerology of 59, corresponding with the ordinal gematria of accident and Negro. From the date of the public shaming to the date he died was 505 days later. This matters because car crash has reverse reduction gematria of 55, similar to how sacrifice sums to 55 in reduction. Further, the masturbation incident took place in Minneapolis, also having reduction gematria of 55. Something else that might have proved fateful for the young man was the fact that Eddie Griffin equates to 228 in reverse ordinal, the number symbolizing death in the Sumerian gematria. Wow. Sean Taylor, wow, April 1st, 1983, that's when he was born. Died November 27, 2007. NFL star Sean Taylor would be murdered on the day, leaving 34 days left in the year, a date with numerology of 38, number symbolizing the gematria of murder. His date of passing was also the 331st day of the year, which is the 67th prime number connecting to blood sacrifice. His cause of death was gunfire. Consider his full name. Sean Michael Maurice Taylor equates to 107 in the reduction gematria, corresponding with the ordinal value of shooting. The number 107 also connects to his birth numerology. 4 plus 1 plus 19 plus 83, that equates to 107. Even more, He died on the 241st day of his age, the 53rd prime number. Shooting also sums to 53 in reduction, when S is counted for 10. Wow. Oof. Chad Butler, Pimp C, born December 29, 1973, died December 4th, 2007. My goodness. on the 38th year, the 38-year anniversary of the death of Fred Hampton, as well as the 38th birthday of Jay-Z, who at the time was doing commercials for Budweiser, calling himself the king of hip-hop. The artist Pimp C, a member of UGK, standing for Underground Kings, with a Z at the end, would be found dead at the age of 33, 25 days shy of his 34th birthday. For yet another 25, his date of passing had a life lesson number of 25, communicating death. In light of the riddle, consider the word rapper has gematria of 38, and the word rhyme equates to 33. Keep in mind, Pimp C was also an artist who had collaborated with Jay-Z, the King. His cause of death would be blamed on purple drink, having gematria of 55, the same as December, Satan, and sacrifice, as well as codeine, one of the main ingredients in purple drink. Okay, if you're not familiar with the beverage, it is part of hip-hop culture and is a mixture of soda with codeine and promethazine, which are prescription strength cough medicine. Also worth mentioning, the date of his passing was the day that leaves 27 days left in the year, the ritual number. As for the surviving member of Underground Kings, Bun B, he was born Bernard Freeman. That name sums to 124, much like the date December 4th or 12/4. On July 31st, 2008, the 213th day of the year, he would release the song You're Everything in tribute to Pimp C. Notice that was also a date with numerology of 38. Consider Bun B was 34 years old at the time of Pimp C's death. Yet another number connected to murder. Wow. Also worth mentioning is that Pimp C was beginning to expose the homosexual agenda within the hip-hop industry. That agenda pertains to men having to give up their rear end bottom hole to the false Jews that run the industry. In light of him dying at the age of 33, consider gay, fags, faggots, and sex all share gematria of 33. And consider it is now more than a decade later, and many mainstream hip-hop artists are now dressing like women in their music videos and at their concerts, sporting dresses and worse. Whew. Heath Ledger, Batman. Okay, I remember Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, April 4th, 1979 is when he was born, and he died January 22nd, 2008. Talk about a doomed birthday. That's right, April 4th, 44. Ledger would die 73 days. Sacrifice equates to 73 in ordinal. He would die 73 days before his 29th birthday, or 2 months and 13 days, not unlike 213. Death equals 213 in Satanic. Wow. You could also say he died a span of 74 days before his birthday, the number connected to killing. As for him dying at age 28, recall, the number connects to kill. Adding to the list of fateful numbers was the gematria of his full name, Heath Andrew Ledger, summing to 86. corresponding with blood sacrifice. Using the septenary cipher, his full name also summed to 73. At the time of his death, he had just finished filming The Dark Knight, where he starred as the Joker, a character having gematria of 38 like death, as well as 43 like killing. Consider it was Brandon Lee who died while filming The Crow, also summing to 38, and also while being 28 years old. Even more, the name Heath Ledger sums to 93, like the year of Brandon Lee's death in 93. Ledger's more recent death came 178 days before the July 18th or 18/7/187 release of the film. What made him the perfect sacrifice for a Batman flick was the fact that Ledger and Batman having perfect gematria overlap in ordinal and reverse ordinal, summing to 51 and 111. For yet another 51, the name Heath Ledger also has reverse reduction gematria of 51, the number of conspiracy. For one last point on his death and the film, Ledger also has reduction gematria of 33, and the film released on a date with numerology of 33, July 18, 2008, where 7 plus 18 plus 08 equates to 33. For one last point in total, his date of passing, January 22nd, can be expressed as 122, connecting to Freemason as well as Elohim, or 22/1, connecting to the Bavarian Illuminati, 221. Heath Ledger equates to 57 in reduction. Cardiac arrest equates to 57 in reduction. That was the cause of his death. That's what they reported. And 1/22/2008, you would add 1 plus 22 plus 20 plus 08, that equates to 51. Conspiracy equates to 51 in reduction. Conspiracy equates to 57 in reverse reduction. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Stephen Ellis Garrett. I don't know who this is yet. So, Stephen Ellis Garrett, born November 11th, 1974, and died February 25th, 2008. Okay. The man, better known as Static Major, would die on his 107th day of being 33 years old, just before the release of the hit song that he was a big part of, Lollipop, which debuted 17 days later, March 13, 2008. Not by coincidence, his full name, Stephen Ellis Garrett, and the song named Lollipop, both sum to 107. Please recall that the number 107 is the 28th prime, and the number 28 connects to the word kill, same as the number 44. The title of the song, Lollipop, also has gematria of 44, and it released on a date with numerology of 44. In the case of Garrett, he died in Louisville, the hometown of Muhammad Ali, on the 44-year anniversary of Ali becoming boxing champion of the world, which was February 25th, 1964. Wow. In the case of Louisville, it has gematria of 46 and 55, both numbers connecting to sacrifice. And in the case of Lollipop, it too has gematria of 55. Adding to the coding of the same number was the fact that his date of passing had numerology of 55. Adding to the coding of his death further was the fact that Lollipop sums to 213 in Frank Bacona's gematria, and he passed on the 25th day of the month. It was reported that his cause of death was, I don't even know if I can pronounce this, Maya myasthenia. Myasthenia. Myasthenia gravis. Gravis. Having gematria of 74, like killing, and 97, like death. That same cause of death also has gematria of 115, further connecting to killing, as well as the artist Lil Wayne, who debuted on the Lollipop track. Even more, the cause of death summed to 191, just like Society of Jesus, and Lil Wayne's birthday is September 27th, the same day as the same Masonic Society. The number 191 is the 43rd prime, further connecting to the gematria of killing, as well as the rap name Lil Wayne. From his date of death to Lil Wayne's 26th birthday later that year was a span of 216 days, the product of 6 times 6 times 6. Oh my God. In that breath, let us not forget that Rockstar has gematria of 666, same as with fingers, and Lil Wayne is known for giving the 666 salute, oftentimes around the eye. 6 foot, 7 foot. Okay. Whew, this stuff is just, man. Tim Russert. He was born May 7, 1950, and died June 13, 2008, thanks to Bush and Kerry. Oh my gosh. Man, and in August, okay? Did he die in August? Maybe. Okay, he didn't die that day. Okay, let me get, I just saw the word August. Okay. On August 31st, 2003, Tim Russert would interview John Kerry on NBC's Meet the Press. And on February 7th, 2004, he would interview President George W. Bush on the same program. In both interviews, he would ask the two men who ran against each other in 2004 for president what it was about the number 322 and Skull and Bones, since they both were members of the powerful secret society. Both men said it was a secret and that they could not discuss it. Not by coincidence, on June 13th, 2008, 227 weeks from the second interview with Bush, Russert would die, being pronounced dead at 2:23 in the afternoon, the reflection of 322. Wow. That went well with the fact that he died on a Friday, the 13th, also having gematria of 223. Friday the 13th, written as words, okay, has gematria of 223. With regards to the span of the 227 weeks, recall, ancient accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry has gematria of 227, which is the 49th prime number connecting to Washington and America. You'll also recall that Washington and United States have gematria of 58. It was the age of 58 that Russert met his demise. Even more, both the names Bush and George W. have gematria of 58, and his death was well coordinated with his prior interview with the former president. Adding to the Washington-related riddle, Russert died on his 38th day of being 58 years old. As you learned in the earlier chapters, DC is on the 38th parallel north, and the number 38 symbolizes Kabbalah, and Kabbalah in English and in Hebrew. Of course, the number 38 also connects to death, and in this case also represents the reduction gematria of Timothy. For one last point, his cause of death was said to be a heart attack, having gematria of 45 and 108, just the same as the name Tim Russert. Thus, his death was very geometric. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Now, who is this? Kaylee Marie Anthony. Yes. Okay, I remember this. Yeah, baby Kaylee. She was born August 9th, 2005, and died June 6th, 2008. So she was really, oh man. Okay, this was the highly televised story of a little girl who was reported missing July 15th, 2008, before having her remains found December 11th, 2008. It led to a murder trial of the mother, Casey Marie Anthony, a name summing to 79, just the same as murder. Whew. In the time of it being covered by the media, it was referred to as the trial of the century, similar to the O.J. Simpson case, the man who had a July 9th or 7/9 birthday. In this instance, the mother admitted that the girl had accidentally drowned in a pool on June 16, 2008, and out of panic, they hid the remains of the girl. Whew. As for the name of the deceased child, Kaylee Marie Anthony, is summed to 86. The number connecting to blood sacrifice and reminding that the birthday of Joan Benet Ramsey was August 6th or 8/6. For yet another parallel between the two children, Kaylee died a span of 55 days from her birthday, whereas Joan Benet died in December, having Gematria of 55. Again, that number connects to sacrifice as well as Satan. Also worth mentioning, the mother of Kaylee was reported to have a March 19th birthday. In 1986, emphasis on 86, which can be expressed as 3/19, similar to 319, connecting to Masonic and killing in Satanic Gematria. That birthday can also be expressed as 19/3, similar to 193 as well, which is the 44th prime number connecting to kill. Consider she was 22 years old at the time of death, where 79 is the 22nd prime number. As for the family's surname Anthony, it produces a value of 97, further connecting to death, which was the focus of the story and a common theme in mainstream media. And it's crazy. George Carlin, I used to like George Carlin's comedy, but George Carlin, did he know the code? I believe he did. I don't. George Carlin, born May 12, 1937, and died June 22nd, 2008. George Carlin would die on a date with a life lesson number of 38. So he died June 22nd, 2008. So you would add 6 plus 22 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8. That equates to 38. His location of passing was Santa Monica on the 34th parallel north and 118th meridian west, summing to 38 in reduction and 187 in reverse ordinal. Wow. His death also came a span of 38 days before his comedy special was released, It's Bad For You, which debuted July 29, 2008, a date with numerology of 44 and 64, connecting to the Gematria of kill. Even more, it was a date with a life lesson number of 46, connecting to sacrifice and execution. Making matters more interesting, that special was recorded March 1st, 2008, 113 days before his passing, or a span of 114 days. In the case of 114, George Carlin sums to 114 in ordinal gematria. That same special was for HBO, summing to 56 in reverse ordinal. I bring up this point because the date he died had numerology of 56 as well. So, and here goes the date numerology. 622 6 plus 22 plus 20 plus 08, that equates to 56. Okay. Consider it was his 14th special for HBO. And as we have learned, both dead and end sum to 14. Finally, his death came on his 42nd day of being 71 years old, a signature of the Freemason cartel. Bernie Mac. I like Bernie Mac too. Bernie Mac was funny. My goodness. Bernie Mac. He was born October 5th, 1957 and died August 9th, 2008. Okay? In the wake of Bernie Mac's death, it was reported that he died from a rare condition known as sarcoidosis. And I don't know if I said that correctly, but I will spell the word for you. And it is spelled sarcoidosis. Okay? So, sarcoidosis, which he was diagnosed with in 1983. A fateful year. In reduction gematria, this condition sums to 50, corresponding with his age of death. Okay. As for the date he passed on, it had numerology of 45, connecting to his place of birth and death, Illinois. It also had numerology of 25, connecting to death. Even more, August 9th is the day, leaving 144 days left in the year, the number connected to the word killer. He died 57 days before his 51st birthday. In the case of 57, it connects to his year of birth and the words entertainer, actor, and Scottish Rite. Another fascinating point is that Bernie Mac died 90 days before the release of Soul Men, the first film he starred in that was released after his passing. The reason the number 90 matters is because Soul Men has reverse ordinal value of 90. The other man who starred in that film, Isaac Hayes, would die the following day, August 10th, a span of 90 days from the release. And for the record, the film debuted November 7th, 2008. Wow. For one last curiosity, the full name of Bernie Mac, Bernard Jeffrey McCullough, has a reduction value of 117, not too far off from the date November 7th or 11/7. 117. Wow. Isaac Hayes. Okay. Isaac Hayes was born August 20th, 1940 and died August 10th, 2008. Just like Bernie Mac, Isaac Hayes' death was clearly coordinated with the release of Soul Men, dying a span of 90 days from the release of the film. Further, Isaac Hayes was 67 years old, corresponding with the ordinal gematria of soul and the reduction gematria of blood sacrifice. If you add the ages of the two deceased men together, 50 plus 67, the total is 117, much like the release date of the film, November 7th or 11/7. Also worth noting, the full name of Isaac Hayes, Isaac Lee Hayes Jr., equates to 93. The number associated with Saturn. At the same time, Saturn has a septenary gematria of 26, connecting to the date of Hayes' passing, okay, which was 8/10/108, and when you add, it was 8/10/08. So you would add 8 plus 10 plus 0, 8. That equates to 26. Wow. This is some stuff. Okay, Andre Young Jr., Dr. Dre's son, born in 1988, died August 23rd, 2008. Okay. Let me start with some lyrics from hip hop's first billionaire, Dr. Dre. Born Andre Young. They're from the song Deep Cover, also known as 187, and they go something like this. Yeah, and you don't stop, 'cause it's a 187 on an undercover cop. Well, for Dr. Dre, it ended up being 187 on his junior, August 23rd, 2008. 187 days after his own 43rd birthday, February 18, 2008. Aside from killing and Masonic being connected to the number 43, so is the word chronic. And Dr. Dre's debut album was The Chronic, releasing exactly 43 weeks after his 27th birthday, December 15, 1992. Thus, him losing his son at age 43 fit an ongoing pattern in his Masonic handlers. This is just so devastating. It's just horrible. Thus, him losing his son at the age of 43 fit an ongoing pattern his Masonic handlers had encoded on his life. As for Dr. Dre becoming hip-hop's first billionaire, it was because of his best-selling audio equipment known as Beats brand, which released in late 2008, months after his son's death. Here's the tie-in. The brand Beats has Gematria of 47, same as the name Andre Young, and there are 47 degrees on the compasses in the Freemason logo, where each leg of the instrument is kicked out at 23.5 degrees. Not by chance, his son died on the 235th day of the year in non-leap years. Even more, the word Beats has Gematria of 20 as well, matching the age of the death of his son. At the same time, so does the word music, which has Gematria of 20 and 65, corresponding with Dr. Dre's year of birth, 1965. As for his birthday, it was February 18th, the 49th day of the year. That's interesting because the name Dr. Dre has ordinal Gematria of 49. As you might recall, the word death also shares Gematria of 218 in English Extended, similar to his birthday, 2/18. I want to note that the birthday of Dr. Dre's son is not publicly listed, but his Wikipedia page said he was born in 88. In Gematria, rapper sums to 88. And it is known in the hip-hop community that the number 88 symbolizes hip-hop because H is the 8th letter. Thus, he made a fitting sacrifice for his father, who came to fame in the industry. Also, on the subject of 88, let us not forget that both poison and arsenic poison equate to 88. That is something. It would be 19 weeks after his death, 18 weeks and 7 days, 187. That the cause of death would be blamed on an overdose of heroin and morphine, connecting to the abbreviation of OD, having ordinal Gematria of 19. Also interesting, the name of the song Deep cover has gematria of 93, the same as heroin. As for morphine, it equates to 118, similar to death, reminding that Compton, the home of Dr. Dre, is on the 118th meridian west. For one last point, his son died on a date with numerology of 59, the number connected to Negro and kill. And the date 8/23/2008, you add 8 plus 23 plus 20 plus 08, that equates to 59. Wow. Damn, Dr. Dre. Oh, this world. Kevin Duckworth. I don't know who that is, but I shall find out. At least I don't remember who it is at this moment. Kevin Duckworth, April 1st, 1964. I should know who it is. And he died August 25th, 2008. Wow. Kevin Duckworth, summing to 67, would drop dead unexpectedly on his 147th day of being 44 years old. Of course, it has to be 38, 34, 44. Oh my God. Kevin Duckworth, summing to 67, blood sacrifice. Okay. Would drop dead unexpectedly on the 147th day of being 44 years old. In addition to killing, having gematria of 147, so does National Basketball Associations. Okay, so he's a basketball player. As for him dying at age 44, both Portland and Rip City, RIP, the nickname of Portland, have gematria of 44. That was the city he played for the longest, for 7 years, ending in 1993, emphasis on 93. Further, he died 22 years after being drafted into the NBA in 1986, coinciding with basketball having reduction gematria of 22. He was the 33rd overall pick of the draft by the San Antonio Spurs as well, who traded him to the Portland Trail Blazers in the 33rd state, which is where he passed on 8/25. R.I.P. to Kevin Duckworth. I'm about to look him up because I just would like to get a idea of who Kevin Duckworth looks like, because I don't remember. So let me see here. Kevin Duckworth.
According to Wikipedia, Kevin Jerome Duckworth was an American professional basketball player and center in the National
Yeah,
Basketball
I remember
Association.
him now. I want to see his picture up closer. Oh yeah, I remember Kevin Duckworth. I forgot he passed at 44. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. So, moving on. Richard Wright. July 28, 1943. September 15, 2008. Now, I don't know who this is either. But anywho, Richard Wright, the keyboardist for the band Pink Floyd. And I've never really listened to Pink Floyd's music. I only know what, On the Dark Side of the Moon or something like that. My brother had his album. I do remember that. But that's all I know about Pink Floyd, really. Anyway, Richard Wright, the keyboardist for the band Pink Floyd, a name having reduction gematria of 49, would die 49 days after his 65th birthday. This is curious because Pink Floyd formed as a band. Pink Floyd formed as a band in 1965. Emphasis on 65. As for the date of his passing, September 15th, it can be written as 15/9, 159, corresponding with Scottish Rite. Dang. Jennifer Hudson's family. Come on, Jennifer. My goodness, I liked your music too. Wow. You know what's sad is that the powers that shouldn't be, and I'm not making any excuse for anyone who's participating in this thing at all, but it is just a shame that we have talented people from every walk of life, and that in order for you to display your talent, no matter what it is, that this wicked system that we're living under right now, you have to play by their rules or stay poor or stay mediocre or don't get to showcase your talents. I just think that's just so freaking sad and just sick. And I would wish our people would just walk away from it. Be independent. I mean, man, that's just my opinion. Anywho, Jennifer Hudson's family, October 24th, 2008. Jennifer Hudson was born September 12th, 1981, 42 days after her 27th birthday, on a date with numerology of 42, October 24th, 2008. Her mother, brother, and nephew were killed. The date of their deaths was also 27 days after the release of her self-titled album, Jennifer Hudson, on September 27, 2008, the Jesuit order's birthday. Recall, the number 27 connects to ritual, and in this case, the name Hudson has Gematria of 27 in reduction and reverse reduction, adding insult to injury. The killer was reported to be 27-year-old William Balfour. The Balfour Declaration. 27-year-old Balfour, William Balfour, a surname having Gematria of 42. To date, he has maintained his innocence in regards to the killings while serving time in prison. In light of the heavy coding of 42 and the release of the album on the Jesuit's birthday, consider the words Jesuit and Freemason have Gematria of 42. Also worth mentioning is the date of her family's passing was a date with numerology of 62. And the word sacrifice has reverse reduction Gematria of 62, a number connecting to Torah, where the code of letters and numbers come from, and a section of the Bible that has much to do with ritual offerings. So, October 24th is also a day, leaving 68 days left in the year. Okay, boy, I tell you, Jennifer and everybody, and I don't know, what do you guys think? I think he didn't do it. I think someone, oh my goodness, I don't know. Or maybe they paid him to do it and he went to jail, and I don't know. This is just some sick business, because this stuff is not organic. This doesn't just happen this way. It's BS. And it's over and over and over and over. And it's systematically. It's just, man. Brittany Murphy, born November 10th, 1977, died December 20th, 2008. Okay, let me see who this is. Brittany Murphy would die at age 32 on a date with numerology of 32. 12 plus 30 equals 32. At the time of her death, she was filming the movie Something Wicked, having Gematria of 75 and 78 in the reduction methods, matching her actress name, Brittany Murphy. For the record, the word wicked has Gematria of 55, corresponding with Satan, sacrifice, and December, the month of her passing, and of course Santa, which is just a reshuffling of the letters of Satan. Oh my gosh. Because of her death, they would wait to release the film she was starring in until April 4th, 44. 2010, emphasis on 44. The date having much to do with 44, the number of killing. Consider her initials BM, where also 2.13. B is the second letter, M is the 13th letter. Okay, not unlike 213, a number very much connected to the history of murder by numbers. Even more, she was found dead on the 20th, and her actress surname Murphy, has gematria of 25 and 38. Again, the numbers 20, 25, and 38 all connect to death, same as 213. So the name Murphy equates to 38 in reduction. Murphy equates to 25 in reverse reduction. Farrah Fawcett, February 2nd, 1947, and she died June 25th, 2009. Farrah Fawcett would reportedly die of cancer on her 144th day of being 62 years old. Recall, cancer has ordinal gematria of 44, same as chemo and kill. Also, when you write out 44 as worse, it sums to 144, a number that corresponds with killer and time in Jewish gematria. She would die in Santa Monica, California on the 34th parallel in Jewish gematria. She would die in Santa Monica, California. Okay, I got that. She would die in Santa Monica, California on the 34th parallel north and 118th meridian west. Adding to the fateful numbers, Santa Monica has gematria of 38 and 187. Consider the name Farrah Fawcett, which was not the way her name was spelled before entering Hollywood. Sums to 58 in reduction, and the day of her passing it would be reported that Michael Jackson, born in 58, had died as well. Wow. So, and the next one is Michael Jackson. He's born in August as well. So, yeah, and I remember the day that Michael Jackson died. I was on my way home from work, and the whole freeway, everybody was must have been listening to Cube 93 at the time, because they was just playing Michael Jackson songs. So all the way home from on the freeway, and even my radio was on. So it was just crazy. But I remember the whole freeway going home. All you could hear, every car was playing Michael Jackson, that I could hear. You could just hear his music on the freeway. Everybody was playing it, and it was like, bumper to bumper traffic here and there, so you can hear the music. So it was a crazy day. But anyway, Michael Jackson, August 29th, 1958 is when he was born, and he died June 25th, 2009. Okay. Michael died a span of 66 days before his upcoming birthday at the age of 50, which is fascinating because 50 has ordinal gematria of 66, and that's 50 written as a word. Also relevant, the word homicide has gematria of 66, and that is what his death was ruled. He also passed just before his planned series of 50 concerts in London, which were to begin July 13th, 2009, and conclude March 6, 2010, lasting a span of 237 days. As we have covered, 2 times 3 times 7 equates to 42, and these concerts were to be held at the O2 Arena, having reduction gematria of 42. Okay. For a couple of more 42s, Jackson's date of birth yields numerology of 42, and at the same time, so does his date of death. So, Michael Jackson was born 8/29/1958. So you would add 8 plus 2 plus 9 plus 1 plus 9 plus 5 plus 8. That equates to 42. And the day he died, 6/25/2009, you would add 6 plus 25 plus 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 9 plus, and that equates to 42. Okay? It's crazy. As we know, the number 42 connects to Freemason, as well as that nasty racial slur. Consider Jackson as a boy began with the Jackson 5, where 5, written as a word, also has the ordinal gematria of 42. And the word boy equates to 42 as well. Oh man. So where was I? Okay, as for London, England, the place where the shows were to be, it has the gematria of 58, just the same as This Is It, the name of his planned 50 concerts. The number 58 also corresponds with Jackson being born in 58 in Gary, Indiana, having reduction gematria of 58. For another parallel to Freemasonry, he died on June 25th, the day leaving 189 days left in the year, corresponding with the gematria of Freemasonic. Consider June 25th is also the date that was George Orwell's birthday, who was a member of the Fabian Society, a highly Masonic organization, and a man who died in London, where Jackson was to perform before his reported passing. Okay. It should also be noted that This Is It has ordinal gematria of 113. Just the same as in Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. The drug that was blamed for his death was propofol, Propofol. Also having ordinal gematria of 113, the dishonest number. Man. That same drug is also known as Diprivan, Diprivan, having gematria of 93 and 119 connecting to Saturn, and 123 connecting to conspiracy. As for the doctor who administered it and reportedly did 2 years in prison for his role in Jackson's death, his name was Conrad Robert Murray, summing to 113. In reverse reduction, and also having birth numerology equating to 93, born February 9th, 1953. The odds of such alignment are astronomical. You're absolutely freaking right. It's crazy. Jackson, having reduction gematria of 19, also died a span of 19 days from the start of the concert, July 13th, which is a date that can be expressed as 13/7, much like 137, the 33rd prime. Let us not forget that the name Michael and words concert and rockstar all share gematria of 33 as well. For another 19, the show was to end March 6, 2010, a date with numerology of 19, and also being the 65th day of the year. That would have been perfect because music and show have ordinal gematria of 65, and the name Jackson has ALW Kabbalah gematria of 65. As mentioned, Jackson died a span of 66 days from his 50th birthday, which means he died 65 days before it. Okay. For a final point about the concert series in relation to his death, a lawsuit of $17.5 million was settled for Jackson's sold out performances falling through. Okay. The amount was agreed to on January 15, 2014, 237 weeks and 6 days after his death. That's interesting considering the concert performances were to last a span of 237 days. That was also a date with numerology of 50, connecting to the number of shows that were to be performed and his age at his time of death. And so that date, January 15th, 2014, when you add it together, 1 plus 15 plus 20 plus 14, that equates to 50. Consider when he passed, the United States of America had its first black president in his first year of office, and the history of the same nation. Michael Jackson is one of the most celebrated black Americans. Let me reread that. Consider when he passed. The United States of America had its first black president in his first year of office. Okay. And in the history of the same nation, Michael Jackson is one of the most celebrated black Americans. It was 156 days after Obama had taken office that Jackson died, shocking the world. As you know, the word 33 has gematria of 156. And let us not forget that federal also shares gematria of 33, where Obama was the face of the federal government. On the subject of 33, Jackson was pronounced dead at UCLA Ronald Reagan Medical Center, named after the 33rd governor of California and 40th president of the United States. Something interesting about the hospital name is it sums to 124. Just the same as Michael Jackson, who was born on the day leaving 124 days left in the year. Related, Ronald Reagan died at age 93. June 5th, 2004, the 156th day of the year in non-leap years, and the 157th day in 2004. On the subject of 33, I'll remind you that as a word, it has reduction gematria of 66, corresponding with Jackson dying a span of 66 days before his 51st birthday, the latter number connecting to conspiracy, federal, and more. As for Obama, you could say it was his 157th day in office when Jackson passed, corresponding with the gematria of United States, and where 157 is the 37th prime. The name Jackson also shares gematria of 37. In relation to Joe Jackson, Michael's father, another riddle was in play. Joe Jackson was 80 years old at the time and born on a date with numerology of 80, July 26, 1928. That matters because Michael's full name was Michael Joseph Jackson, having reduction gematria of 80. Even more, the name Jackson sums to 31, same with the initials MJ, and Michael died 31 days before his father's 81st birthday, the ritual number. As for Michael's mother, her name is Catherine Esther Jackson, summing to 239, the 52nd prime, and the name Michael Jackson equates to 52. On the subject of 239, he was at his home on North Carrollwood Drive, also summing to 239, when he was taken to the hospital where he was determined to be deceased. And there's a headline here that says Michael Jackson death house finally sells for 18.1 million. Oh my God. Would you believe they ended up selling Michael's house at the same address for 18.1 million? That's a lot like 181, the 42nd prime. I mean, these people are sick. I don't give a crap if you hate me no more. I know I'm Hebrew. I know what that 42 means, you suckers. It's just, man, this is ridiculous. And Michael, I'm telling you, I just hate this shit. Prior to that price, they were asking 23.9 million. Not unlike 239. And before that, the original asking price was 38 million, connecting to death, murder, and killing. This reporting of the death house can be verified at the website LA Curbed, CURBED. What they forgot to mention is Holmby Hills, HOLMBY, Holmby Hills, where it was located, has Francis Bacon gematria of 187. For our final point on Jackson, we can rest assured he did not die due to the fact he appeared on Larry King in costume as the character Dave Dave. I assure you, if you look up this interview, and you will have no doubt it was Michael behind the mask. Dave Dave equates to 28 in reduction. Jackson equates to 28 in reduction. Reduction S counted as 10. Okay, Dave equates to 44 reverse reduction, and Jackson equates to 44 reverse reduction. And Michael, if you're out there reading this, I'm not mad at you. Thanks for the music. Shut up, Zach. And Michael, if you're reading this, I'm not mad at you. Thanks for the music. Oh, God. Wow, Steve McNair from Mississippi. Steve McNair, born February 14, 1976. Died July 4th, 2009. Steve McNair, the NFL star, was murdered July 4th, a date that can be expressed as 7-4, similar to 74, for killing, or 47 like 47, also connecting to killing. In this case, he died in Tennessee, having reverse reduction gematria of 47. His death was blamed on his 20-year-old lover that he was having an affair with, according to reports. Her name was Sahel Kazemi, Sahel Kazemi, Sahel Kazemi, summing to 47 in reduction and 187 in reverse ordinal. The story was that she shot and killed him, then killed herself. But this is an obvious lie. McNair also died on his 141st day of being 36 years old, and his place of death, Nashville, has reverse ordinal gematria of 141. And when you write 33 as a word, it equates to 141 in reverse ordinal. Also worth mentioning is that his full name, Stephen Luttrell McNair, has ordinal gematria of 214, not unlike his birthday, February 14th, or 2/14. I bring up this point because so many celebrity athletes have name gematria that corresponds with their birthday perfectly, and that it has led me to the conclusion that these men are being formed, named, and birthed accordingly for their future planned roles in the world of sports. No doubt the people who are responsible for the forming of these athletes also see that they have the right to take their lives. To take the lives of their livestock at their choosing. BS. Glenn Bell. I don't know who this is either. Glenn Bell. Okay, September 3rd, 1923. And he died January 16th, 2010. Glenn Bell, born Glenn William Bell, a name summing to 86 in reverse reduction, would die at the age of 86, the number corresponding with blood sacrifice. He was the founder of Taco Bell, which was established in history March 21st, 1962. A date with numerology of 86. 3 plus 21 plus 62 equates to 86. Interestingly enough, he would die 47 years and some months after the establishment of the food chain on a date with numerology of 47. And so the date 1/16/2010 added together equates to 47. And Taco Bell in reverse reduction sums to 47. Equally as interesting, the word taco has ordinal gematria of 39. The name Glenn Bell has reverse reduction gematria of 39, and he turned 39 years old the year the company was made into being. That number also corresponds with his birthday, September 3rd, or 3/9. Thankfully, in coordination with his passing, the NWO didn't stage a false flag shooting at one of his establishments as they did for the McDonald's founder, Ray Kroc. It's crazy. Okay, Eustace Mullins, March 9th, 1923 to February 2nd, 2010 when they died. So The man who authored Secrets of the Federal Reserve would die abruptly at age 86 on the 33rd day of the 330 days after his birthday. Okay, that was a mouthful. I'm gonna reread that. The man who authored Secrets of the Federal Reserve would die abruptly at age 86 on the 33rd day of the year, 330 days after his birthday. Got it. This is fascinating because he is known as a Holocaust denier, where Holocaust has reduction gematria of 33. Ahead, we will talk about the death of Bradley R. Smith, also at age 86, the number of blood sacrifice, who is remembered as a Holocaust denier just the same. Like Eustace, his death has a major riddle with the word Holocaust as well. In the case of Eustace, you could also say he died on the 331st day of his age, which is the 67th prime number. As a reminder, blood sacrifice sums to 67 in reduction and 86 in reverse reduction. Last, his date of passing had numerology of 14 connecting to dead and 34 connecting to murder. So, 2 plus 2 plus 10 equates to 14, and 2 plus 2 plus 20 plus 10 equates to 34. Alrighty. My grandbaby waving at me from outside. And with that said, I know they're going to come in the house and come into my room. So I will end my reading here. But the next reading, I will start with Nate Dogg, Nathaniel Hale, the rapper. And until then, you guys have a good evening. And I will be back later. Thank you.